MennoNerds, two questions for you guys this evening. What are the things that cause wealth, and what are the things that cause poverty? I think these are two really important questions to ask given the conversation that we've been having about the rich young ruler and Lazarus in Luke 16. Now, we don't know the particulars around why the rich young ruler is wealthy. We do not know if he got some really great family inheritance or he's been working really hard all his life, and so now he has all this money, right? Neither do we know why Lazarus is poor. Why we do not know why they are in the situations that they are in. We do know that people across all time, across all cultures of our world, have a habit of becoming wealthy by oppressing the most vulnerable and victimizing their society. That's certainly the case when we consider U.S. history. The U.S., if we are honest with ourselves, and we must be honest, is wealthy because it has spent hundreds of years of exploiting and disinvesting Native Americans and African Americans. If we look back at Jesus' day as well, and we look at the Roman Empire and how it built its wealth, the same holds true. And so if we look at these two societies, and we look at other societies across our world, it is not hard to assume that the rich young ruler finds himself in the situation that he is in at the time by oppressing people like Lazarus, by taking from them, by taking land, by giving them very little pay for long, arduous hours of work. It's not hard to assume that he's in the situation that he's in because he's been exploiting and oppressing people all his life. At the same time, it's not hard to assume that Lazarus is poor because he's been on the receiving end of oppression all of his life. And so when you have an analysis like that, we come to know that it's not just about being rich. It's not just about riches, but it's about how those riches are gotten. It's about how people are building wealth. And I think that's what Jesus is getting at in texts like these, that it's not so much that it's the money that Jesus has a problem with. It's the problem of how that money is gotten. Money, in the case of this rich young ruler and so many others like him, is gotten by oppressing and marginalizing people. A lot of times that people are just taking jobs and land, but sometimes people are taking the very life, the very essence of air that people breathe away from others for profit. And so when we have that conversation, it would be inappropriate to say that people in power, the people who have access to means, will always be the rich young ruler. I get where that sentiment is coming from because we want to be open and transparent, acknowledging the ways that we've been complicit, particularly in the United States context, the ways that we've been complicit in white supremacy and oppression. I think we need to begin there and confess how we have been the rich young ruler, but we need to move a step further and model Zaccheus' behavior. Zaccheus in Luke 19 was also rich, was also wealthy by oppressing his Jewish brothers and sisters, by charging them an exorbitant amount of taxes. But what he did when faced with the reality of his guiltiness, he gave it away. He gave half of it away. And so let's start with the rich young ruler, but let's end with Zaccheus's orientation towards wanting to not be like